Hello and welcome. Today I tell you how Canada is going to save the world by banning plastic bags.
Hide! With your powers combined, I am Captain Planet! Well, Planeteers, what seems to be the problem?
So this is an article from the Post Millennial. Trudeau ban on single-use plastics begin Tuesday. So December 20th, 2022, Canada's ban on manufacturing and import of certain plastic items, including straws and grocery bags, have taken effect beginning Tuesday. The list of plastic items that companies will no longer be allowed to produce or bring into the country will include checkout bags, cutlery, some food service ware, stir sticks, and straws. Now, I get the idea for straws, and the reason why straws are high up on this list was mostly what would happen in a bar, where a bar would make a drink. They would use a single use straw to stir it, and that's why they ended up in on this use, because the bars would throw them out a ton. In a lot of cases, they could have turned around and used a spoon instead of a straw, but then they have to use cleaning and do sanitization, things like that. So it makes it very difficult for a bar, and that's why they used single-use straws. But I understand it. However, paper straws, I have to say, absolutely are horrible. After about 10 minutes of using a paper straw from a store or something like that, I would rather be drinking directly out of the cup, or even just get my own sippy cup at this point, because a straw, a paper one nonetheless, is absolutely horrible to use. They get corroded, they disintegrate very quickly, they just don't last. And that was the whole thing out of plastic, is it was a material that was built to last a little bit longer, to reuse quite possibly quite a bit, and now they're gone. The manufacturing and import ban will extend to ring carriers commonly used for like 6-packs of cans. So you got your 6-pack holder and you have the rings user. I have seen some alternate versions of them where they're more of a heavy duty or plastic, or you just have them turn around and do single sales, I guess, and then say if you're going to buy 6, you get a discount. That's where that's going to go, but that's more a liquor store target of them. You don't generally buy a 6-pack of pop. You maybe buy a 6-pack of beer because it's convenient. And so plastic in itself no longer being convenient for my current government. Finally, at the end of there's one more thing in here. Also with the crosshairs is the flexible straws packaging with drink containers like juice boxes. This is something recently we got some juice boxes trying for them with the little one, and you open up the juice box, and onto the side of it you have a piece of plastic. In that piece of plastic was a paper straw. I've also seen this with bags of bread. You get your loaf of bread, and the little tab, the plastic tab that was attached to it, is now paper. Paper breaks down a little bit better in a landfill situation. So we're no longer reducing our footprint. We're just putting more paper into the landfills, is what I get out of this. There's no we're going to recycle more. It's throw it into the landfill and make sure it's single use. You want to know where the actual problem comes from? It's from consumer electronics is the actual problem. You have thousands of components in a consumer electronic, let alone tons of plastic, and they are single use. Once you're done with your consumer electronic, it gets tossed. But they've levied a surcharge on that. So you pay for it right out of the gate, and then it gets taken to the place and supposedly recycled. But in a lot of cases, there's lead. Look at solar panels in particular. They're high concentrate in lead, because that's what it takes to move the electrons properly. Is a lot of lead is semiconductive, and you move it around, and now they're seen as hazardous waste, and they don't end up in the landfill. They end up elsewhere because they're just worse to get rid of. Many Canadians across the country will use some of these regulations, and many local governments have made their own laws regarding plastic items, most commonly grocery bags. The federal government has also been urging Canadians since July 2020 to stop using plastic cutlery and to bring their own containers when ordering takeout. You order takeout and now you have to bring your own container. There's a level of food sanitation here that you've got to get to. So imagine this. I order my pizza. The one thing that drives me nuts, I don't understand why pizza places don't line their boxes with wax paper. It's an easy consumable. It's something that's recyclable, and it would actually save the cardboard a lot easier, because in a lot of cases, cardboard that has been soiled by the oils from pizza goes straight into the landfill from the recycling manufacturers because they can't recycle it. They considered it contaminated. If they line these things with a simple piece of wax paper, which in itself is paper, it's a combustible and it will break down very easily, they would have a lot of more reusable pizza boxes. Maybe someone's got to come out with a pizza box that is plastic. Oh wait, we can't make plastic pizza boxes. That wouldn't fly. You can't make it. So I don't understand. Like the back in the 80s, when we did this whole war on the trees, war on paper to try and move away from paper, so we've gone into plastic, and now plastic is everywhere. But it's been mass produced to a point that it doesn't get recycled anymore, and instead people want to just throw it out. So let's go back to paper, because paper, the whole idea was it was supposed to be recyclable, but it doesn't get recycled. It's this whole mixing up of everything like that. Trudeau promised in 2019 that a plastic ban would take effect in 2021, and later determined that was unrealistic due to several factors, including the pandemic. The slated goal of plastic bans is to eliminate more than 1.3 million tons of hard-to-recycle plastic waste and the equivalent of more than 1 million garbage bags of plastic pollution. So why don't we recycle it? Why are these things hard to recycle? I thought we went through all of this. These plastic bags turn into like toques and sweaters and stuff like that with fleece material. That it becomes a consumer clothing straight through and through. So why is this so hard to recycle? This is even harder than this to recycle. Why is that? Why is it now down to this? Well, from plastic bags to unrecyclable, reusable bags that once they're done, they're done. It doesn't make any sense. To me, like, I can't turn this into rags. I can turn my clothing into a rag. I can't turn this into a rag. I feel this is just going to become a catalyst, and next on the block will be these harder recyclable plastic bags that just don't seem like, what is this actually made out of? What is this made out of? Non-woven polypropylene, which is plastic. This is a plastic bag, but it's not because it's considered single use why they're getting able to sell these. Because these are considered single use, even though we use these in everyday life. It just, I don't know. It means something more on the government level to try and get rid of this, but I have a feeling this is going to be one of those things where in about 5-10 years we're going to have an epidemic of these things in everyone's closets. That's what I see happening here. I don't see it actually becoming something worthwhile. We're going to see more floating barges of these. Like, why aren't we finding a way to actually recycle these in a much better organized way, in a much better manufactured way? Why don't we go that route? Why don't we innovate for something more? And that has been something that I've always wondered. What are your thoughts down below? Anyway, I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cinder Shadow. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hey, I know this isn't gaming content, but this is an everyday content, and it was something that was on my mind and something that has just taken effect in the news, and it's going to affect us all in the long run. Physical media is even going to be affected by this. I gotta say, we'll have to wait to see where this one lays out, because it's going to be an interesting couple years in Canada.
Usages and recycle those plastics, or else I'll turn you into a fucking tree. Captain Planet, mother.